Dig your hand in the land. We're gonna have a meeting. Everybody cross the land. There'll be no more weeping. Sow your seed today. Tomorrow do your reaping.
Keep our 1902. The place, Point, Texas. And this is the night they founded Farmers Union.
Turn your eyes on a new horizon. Dig your hand in the land. There's a new sun arising.
Farmers Union started at the national level in 1902 in Point, Texas, because the idea was that farmers needed to get paid better than they were for the products that they're raising.
When farmers get together, they swap ideas. Common worries and common problems come right out when they talk things over together.
Coming to Minnesota in 1918 with the first local group of Farmers Union organized in Jackson County on the southern border between Minnesota and Iowa. Now remember, in 1918, there was no mechanization yet. There were no paved roads. Minnesota was still a new country, and there was large waves of second and third sons of daughters who could not inherit the land in their home country. So they came to Minnesota, the dream being that of land, and then finding out that they're at the mercy generally of the railroads and the company stores and the milling companies who told them when to deliver the product, how much they would pay for the product, and how much they would charge to get the product back and forth. So Farmers Union has always been an economic model based in the cooperative movement, and those co-ops can still be seen throughout the state of Minnesota in the small co-ops, gas stations, and the co-op elevators that still dot the land. The whole notion of Farmers Union was rooted in a group of farmers coming together and on their own behalf, so that if one farmer needed a few bales of twine and another farmer needed a few bales of twine, cooperatively they went together and bought a large carton of twine, put it in their own co-op store, and then basically resold it to themselves, with profits going towards dividends that benefited the farmers who belonged to the co-op. So Farmers Union really built co-ops starting in the early 1900s, and then discovered quickly that forming co-ops and an economic model weren't enough, that we also had to do education of our youth and of our membership so that they could be more successful farmers and more successful in rural communities. And on top of that, we figured out quickly, these farmers in the early 1900s, that we needed to be involved politically at the legislature too.
1,500 strong every year to talk to Congress about farm prices and farm problems. And one thing they learn after their trip is this, that farm prices are made in Washington and that Congress and the administration make them.
At that time, farmers were at the bottom of the heap when it came to legislation. The railroads and the milling companies were at the top and controlled the legislatures in most states. So Farmers Union got quickly involved in the building of co-ops. It got involved in the education of youth and members, and it got involved in creating legislation that benefits family farmers and rural communities.
These are dreams made real by 500,000 people in thousands of cooperatives, all built by farmers through cooperation, legislation, and education.
For 100 years, Minnesota Farmers Union has been the voice of agriculture at the Minnesota legislature, in the media, and with the citizens of Minnesota. Almost everyone has roots that go back to the family farm. Minnesota Farmers Union is the voice of people who are concerned about where their food comes from and how it gets to your table. The future of rural Minnesota depends on your support of Minnesota Farmers Union.
Well, Joe, does it all add up and make sense?
Seems to make sense to me.
Dig your hand in the land. We're gonna have a meeting. Everybody cross the land. There'll be no more weeping. Sow your seed today. Tomorrow do your reaping. Keep our hands down in the land.
The local meeting is the means to action, the grassroots from which the whole program grows. The meeting is like a piece of farm equipment. Keep it in good repair, and it works well for you.
This meeting of Farmers Union Local 3 will please come to order. Dig your hand in the land, turn your eyes on a new horizon. Dig your hand in the land, there's a new sun arising to shine on that seed, to help us organize and keep our hands down in the land.